Hello everyone. So this video, what it's going to really be is all about capsule C.A.R.s, which is really just a new way of kind of describing axial rotation. So what we're really trying to do here is kind of isolate rotation and communicate and train the joint capsule. So if you've been following, you're doing an online program with me, you already know why we're doing this, why the joint capsule is so important. But essentially what we're trying to do is talk to the deepest part of our joint and get that rotation to be very smooth, very pure, and not have any compensations. While you're doing this, I want you to think that there's almost a stake or some sort of pole that goes down through the knee all the way into the hip, and that line is going to stay solid the whole time. It's not going to change. For example, if I go into external rotation of the hip from here, and this is my line, I want that line to stay there. I don't want that line to travel in. I also don't want that line to travel out. So I want this to stay in the same spot as actual rotation happens at the hip. While you're doing that, really try to visualize that because it's going to be very important. It's going to really help a lot. And essentially, you're going to be doing these from as many angles as you can come up with that are pain-free. But I'll show you a couple of the main ones. When would you do these? All day, as many as you can. Try to get as many inputs in there as possible. After you're done with your pails and rails, again, if you're doing an online program with me, you know we're going into some C.A.R.s after that. So try to really think about you're saving your work, you're uploading it, you're making sure that the work that you did before, your pails and rails, expanding range of motion, is being saved by you doing these. I would suggest doing a few before bed every night. For example, if you're doing some pails and rails for internal rotation, before I go to bed at night, I'm going to hit at least 5 reps, maybe 3 reps from a couple of different spots, where I'm going all the way into external, all the way into internal rotation. If you want changes to happen fast, you need to be communicating not only consistently, but really multiple times throughout the day. And you also need to do some reps that are loud enough to where you're really going to be forcing some adaptation. What I mean by that is definitely do some reps. Maybe your 5th rep is 100% tension. You're squeezing everything. You're working really hard. There's a high level of irradiation in order to achieve that. So let's go ahead and go into a few of them. The first one that we're going to do, you're just going to be lying flat on your back. I'll try to video it this way so that you guys can see. So once I get flat on my back, I'm just going to flex my hip to 90 degrees. There's no pain or pinching in the front at all. From there, I'm going to consider as if I'm thinking about that same line, and I'm going to externally rotate my hip. Again, your first rep might just be to here. Maybe use a little bit more tension on your second, and you get a little bit more. From that end range of external rotation, I'm going to go ahead and slowly internally rotate. Maybe your first rep might stop here, and use a little bit more tension and really open up into your end range of internal rotation. So there's one nice little standard rep that you can do from there, maybe 3 to 5. Next one, we can start adding abduction. So from here, I can go across. Say I did 5, 10, 15 degrees out. I can go ahead and do a couple reps there. I can do them here. So that would just be the same thing. If I needed a little feedback, I could keep my finger here, in and out. I could work at my end range of abduction, so I could come all the way out to the side, external rotation, internal rotation. And remember, I'm looking for just those rotational movements, not for abduction, flexion, or any of those other kind of representations of compensations. So there's a standard way on your back. The exact same thing could be done standing. So you can go through just like you would do your hip C.A.R.s, quadruped, side lying. Show you that right now. So if I wanted to stress the outside of the hip working a little bit more, I could have it fight gravity directly. So as gravity's pushing down, this tissue has to work to keep the hip up. So I can do the same thing here. Internal rotation. I'll get blocked for external rotation. So I can work abduction. Now I can get full external rotation, full internal rotation here. Same thing that we did on the ground. Make sure that I don't roll out. This stays straight. I'm locked in, and now I can work internal external from there. Just another spot that you can work from. Say I wanted to focus a little bit more on internal rotation for this, which a lot of you guys have in your online program, especially for half frog. I won't be able to get my external rotation here because I'm blocked by the ground, but I can make sure that my pelvis doesn't hike, and I can work on owning internal rotation. From there, I can also bring my legs straight in, as if I was getting my hip C.A.R.s at the clinic, and I can work on hitting internal and external from here, just making sure that everything isn't coming along for the ride. So that's another option for your capsule C.A.R.s for your hip. You can literally come up with them from any single stance you can think of. It's just a matter of really owning that rotation. Take your time, go slow, multiple inputs every single day.